If you've been holding out buying your first rental property, now is the time. So how do we find our first rental property? First multifamily, preferably. So we're gonna find a place that we live, for example, Dallas. I personally like Redfin. I also go to homes.com once I find a property. I use Zillow as well, PropWire, and I use just Google's mortgage calculator as well as calculators.com. But for this example, let's say you only have 50,000. So we take 50, we divide it by 0.2, which would be 250. We go 25% more, it's 312, right? So we're gonna find a property within 312 type. Most important, we just do multifamily. Now there's not gonna be a ton, but we're gonna find them. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I don't know how this is a multifamily. Let's look. Is it a 1 bedroom plus a 2 bedroom, 1 bath? On a verbal for $2,000 a month. This right here, super sketch. Never would I ever. Never would I ever. Unless I can get that into contract prior to closing, never would I ever. Seller is completely off. Let's see what PropWire says. It's been on the market for 162 days. Estimated value is 169. He has it listed for 219. I wonder if he's gotten any offers. We are now in a buyer's market, so super easy to understand. Oof. This is a 30-year. He bought it for 245. Wow. Let's see if homes.com verifies that information. Right here. Well, okay, so first things we want to do is we want to get some basic information. We've double checked that the deed transfer date was indeed on the 14th of May, which lines up pretty much perfectly with what we're looking at here on PropWire. We validated that. We've looked at, it looks like 2 people own the property, which is going to be questionable. We verified that through the deed lookup situation. However, you also have to understand that the market value is going to go up. Their cap value right now is at 153, but as soon as they sell the property, you can have a fluctuation. 2 things to take into account. So for 219, a consideration of loan balance is 227. They're trying to break just even. They're trying to sell it at just a small loss. So obviously there's something wrong with the property. I probably wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole unless you could. No, I wouldn't touch this. Next property. 5 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,700 square feet. I'm guessing a duplex, cap rate, turnkey rental, fully leased, right? We've got a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 900 a month. We've got a 2 bedroom, 1 bath paying 1,100 a month, plus the detached room in the back is 300. But if we just do some quick numbers, it's 900 plus 1,100 is 2,000 plus 3 is $2,300 a month. And at this, let's see. Homes.com think it's right around what it should be listed at. There you go, Malberg Street, Dallas, total value is 189. Okay, cool, so they think it's 189. So even after you get taxed, you're only gonna hit 189. And if it's your only property in Texas, you can homestead it. They're definitely asking for more than what even they think it's worth. What does PropWire say for equity? Estimated equity 100,000. So 2017, look up the 30-year mortgage rates historically, 4%. Okay, hypothetically, if we were gonna offer full value, which we shouldn't because it's been on market for 162. So let's take this number. Let's say we submit an offer at 200. They come back with 30. We submit an offer at 210. They say 225. We say 215. And then we try and get like max concessions. So if you're running an FHA, it's 6%. So let's just say you get it for 225. If we say the home price is 225, the down payment is 20%, 6.8%. Okay, 6.8%. Property tax on this property is going to be $2,800. We're probably going to say $850, but you have $45,000 down payment. So in order to see if this is a good buy for your value, we take the $2,300 minus $1,500 for payments. Let's just say that's $1,750. $550 times 12 for the yearly profit. $6,600 over your down payment, which is $45,000. And that's 14% with a full conventional 20% down. Now, if we were to go 3.5%, you FHA it, you live in the smaller of the 2 units at 900, 6.5%. Again, I'm not a loan officer. This isn't viable information, whatever. And let's say you rent right now for $1,500 in Dallas. You would take your $1,856, you'd minus your $1,500 for rent, which comes out to be $356. So this is your premium from going from renting an apartment to owning a house would be your premium of $356. Now you take your $1,100 plus $300, $1,400 minus your $400 for your premium. You're cash flowing $1,000 a month. If you live there, you multiply that by 12. You get 12,000 over divided by this plus your closing costs, which is going to be about 4%. If you're able to get max concessions though, you're looking at, I don't know, 10,000. You're cash flowing like a mother on this property. Assuming you're still paying your rent, right? Assuming you don't change your lifestyle and you continue paying your rent, you have 120% cash flow on this property. You take the premium, even after the premium, you're still cash flowing 120% on your otherwise expenses. I hope that makes sense because you're already paying $1,500 a month. So in this scenario, you're paying $1,500 a month for rent. So you minus that off your mortgage, $1,856. So then your premium for owning this property is $356, but you have an income of $1,400. You have $1,100 coming from a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then you have $300 coming from storage, right? So really, you're cash flowing $1,000 off of just buying this property instead of renting. So you would move into this property with an FHA loan. You save $44 a month on the side for just any household repairs, if anything goes wrong, if washer, dryer, whatever. So you'd be living in a 3-bedroom, 1 bath instead of your apartment. You'd be building equity the entire time, and you'd be earning essentially $1,000 a month on your money. Assuming you continued paying $1,500 a month into your mortgage as if it was just standard. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because yeah, your monthly mortgage payment is $1,856, but you have $1,400 worth of income coming in from that property. Because this 2-bedroom, 1 bath is paying you $1,100 a month, that's gonna stay. This $300 a month of storage is gonna stay. So that's $1,400 a month that's gonna stay. So you're only left with $1,456, but if you continue spending $1,500 a month, you're cash flowing $1,000. Does that make sense? So if you maintained your lifestyle and you continued putting $1,500 out of your budget, you're saving $1,000 a month. So where people go wrong is then they're like, oh, well, now I only have to pay $456, right? Because $1,400 of it's covered from the people living and renting out my space. So instead of $1,856 my mortgage, all I'm paying is $456. So that's not how you should be looking at it. You should be looking at it as, I'm going to continue setting aside $1,500 a month, and I'm just going to save that extra money. So that $1,000 a month, you're just going to save. That way you can buy your next property, or you can pay off this property faster. I would definitely recommend just buying another property. So the point is this property cash flows, and this is with the worst case scenario of taking out an FHA loan. Best case scenario is you get the seller who is probably distressed because we see here that it is tax delinquent, right? Best case scenario, you get them to agree to use some of their equity, which is $137,000 plus, well, really, so if you bought it for $225 minus the $50,000 they have left over, they have $175 equity, right? So what you could do is you could say, hey, I want to assume your loan and I want to seller finance that $175. If you allow me to do that, I'll buy your property at $225. Seller financing is the exact same way. In this scenario, you have no down payment. This is like a hypothetical best case scenario. You get them to agree to like a 3.5% interest rate on the monthly mortgage, right? And so you have, essentially you have a 3.5%, which is $756 or $786, right? So you pay them $786 for this $175, and then you're taking this $50,000 and you're paying probably 4.2%, which is what the 30-year historical said, right? Here, 4.1, we're being generous and saying 4 points. So that's kind of how we're getting. So now we take $250 a month, and we take the other amount, which is $175,000. And if we can get them to agree at 3.5%, that's $786 plus $786. And now our monthly principal and interest is only $1,000 a month, roughly. You're looking at $1,350 a month, and you're cash flowing $1,400 a month if you live in a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Now what you can do is you can house hack that 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and let's say you only need one of those rooms for an office and you can live in another room. You house hack that other room for $300, $500 a month to try and get someone in that room. And if you continue putting $1,500 a month aside as if you are still paying rent, I mean, you can kind of see how this gets, you can scale this really fast and you can get to 3, 4, 5, 6 properties in a decade. If you have any questions about what I just went over or how you could do it yourself, where you could do it, or if you want a helping hand and you're in San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, anywhere really in Texas, reach out to me.